Good Monday evening, everybody. How the heck you guys doing? I'm Andy Vitale, host of My Fight Our War, coming at you live from Detroit, Michigan. And as always, oh, wait a minute. As always, there's Groot and Rocket and their sunflower and OG with their new hair.
I got my hair done today.
Yep. And her Lions hat going. She's sporting everything, man. But hopefully you guys had a great weekend. And we are here just enjoying. We were talking to our very special guest, Kristie Stutts, who is in the green room. Got to pop out here shortly about the our lovely weather here. It's a little cool in Athens, Alabama. And it is here in Detroit as well. But love this stuff. But as you guys know, it's Monday, and Kristie's been very kind, and just like everyone who comes on here and shares their story, man, thank you so much for doing that because, like I said, man, our words matter, stories matter. You're going to touch somebody, someone's going to hear something, and so I always say that the words really matter. So thank all of you in the past. Thank you for the ones who are upcoming, and thank you for Kristie.
Yay.
So let's bring Kristie on right now.
Kristie. Yay, Kristie.
How are you?
I'm good. Look what I got.
Hey.
Oh, wow. All right. Did you
Yeah,
always?
That is awesome. I forgot about that because she was saying how you got your Groot. That is, that.
I actually got mine when I was in recovery. One of my girlfriends I was in recovery with, she gave it to me.
That is.
Now, are you familiar? Have you watched the movies where Groot's in?
No, I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't.
Okay.
I don't really.
He's quite a hero.
Oh, there you go.
He's quite a hero, but very soft spoken because all he says is,
"I am Groot." That's all
he
says.
But
the thing is, like OG said, man, he
comes to save a lot of
the
folks.
strong silent type. And I'm not going to say silent because you're a firecracker, man. But the thing is, you are there just like Groot to help everyone else. So that's so fitting that you have that and that your friend gave you that. So that's awesome.
That's nice.
And OG, I see you got people. So we got to pop OG out. And
let me go talk to my folks here.
There we go. I'll move my little Groot in there for you.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man. So we got Kristie from Alabama. We were chatting a little bit about some things going on. But again, man, just thank you for sharing and coming on and all that stuff. And let's just start the show off, man. Why don't you just tell everyone who you are and where you're from?
All right. I'm Kristie, and I am 43 years old. I am originally from Cicero, Illinois, but we have lived in Alabama since I was 9. Back in 1989, we moved down here from Cicero. So home sweet Alabama.
Chicago, man. You are right there close to us, man. Here from Detroit to Chicago. And they can hear it, Kristie, already. We
got Vincent, we got Lori.
Lori's in here
Jacqueline.
Already. Wait a minute, let's see.
Kevin Herbert.
Vincent's in here, and Lori is in here.
Wow.
Lori says, "Hey, Kristie, Manny, and OG."
Yeah, that's right.
And our shenanigator.
I can't see the comments.
Okay, we got right here. That's from. And then also half of our shenanigators, Jacqueline. Good afternoon, my Fight Our War family. Hi there, Kristie. The support is there. Yes. And we got Kevin and everyone jumping in. Thank you guys so much, man.
Okay.
I had the pleasure of we had our journey to Athens, Alabama for the Addiction Eviction Rally that you were there part of. And seeing you get when you got baptized there.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And well, first of all, you know what? Let's. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because, I mean, I tell you what, you guys are awesome. I had such a great time. But this, like I said, this is about you, and we want to kind of get things rolling. For you, how were things, for Kristie growing up? How were the younger years for you as a child?
Well, like from what I can remember, it was a lot of violence, a lot of drugs, a lot of addiction. I got a lot of family, that's
Mm.
been an addiction, and I really can't remember anything good about my childhood. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think we ever went to school. We lived across the street, like literally right across the street from the school, and we never went to school. My parents, I thank God every day, but they've been clean since we moved down here, but they was deep in addiction up there. So I kind of seen at a very young age what addiction was like and what it can do to you. Um, I've seen a lot of there was a lot of drive-by shootings. A lot of people just
Wow.
something you would see on a movie. You know what I mean? It's really scary.
And
A lot of
you've
fighting, a
lived,
lot of violence, a lot of drug, a lot of addiction, and um,
yeah,
I can remember.
we were talking about that just before we came on about the first years. So I didn't know any of this. I remember we were just talking about what we were going to go through. So those were literally your first memories were the drugs, the addiction, and the violence within your own home.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Wow.
really
Do you have
bad.
any siblings? Do you have brothers and sisters?
I do. I have one brother. He's the oldest out of all of us. And then I have an older sister. Like my older brother and my older sister is from my mom's first marriage. And then with my dad, there's three girls. It's my sister Belinda that's in front of me, and then me, and then my baby sister Tammy. So there's five of us all together.
Okay. So for you then, what was like your typical day as a youngster? I mean, what was your day then since there was no school? What did you and your
What
siblings
did you do?
encounter?
Um, I know we would run away to the parks a lot, or go to the public pool, or I mean basically just running around in the neighborhood, just running the neighborhood, running the streets, just doing whatever we wanted to do. I mean, we didn't really have anybody there to tell us no, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, um yeah, I mean, I remember just going to the park and just hanging out with friends and stuff.
Now with
Just
the parents, you said that it was obviously the addiction there. What were their drugs? What were the addiction? Was it drugs, alcohol, both?
it was both, yeah. It was both.
So man, so here you see that firsthand, and was that part of the reason that you moved?
It is.
To
So I can remember. So let's see. It was me and my sister that's older than me, not the oldest sister, but the one that's just right above me.
Mm-hmm.
We were the only ones at home. My oldest sister and my older brother was just basically already out of the house, gang banging, running the streets, doing whatever. And we never went to school. So the state of Illinois actually came a couple times to take us away because we never went to school. And I remember hiding in the basement where we lived at. It was like a 3-story house or whatever, and it had a basement. And we would always run and hide in the basement. So I don't know, my dad just got tired of it. He just picked us up one day and said, "We're going to Alabama." And that's what we did, and we never looked back.
well,
Wow.
man, and I'm sorry, Chris, you said that they have been sober ever since.
Yes. Yes.
Man, that's great.
Wow.
That is, you know what? So many stories that I hear that start just like you said, end up not like you just said. I mean, a lot of it ends up with divorce, separation, especially when you have the violence, sometimes even worse. But God bless them, man. As far as you go, what was the earliest age that you remember either drugs or alcohol that you started taking?
Okay, so I don't know what it's called now, but I know me and my cousins, this was I'm probably 7, 8, maybe 9 years old. It was before we moved down here.
Mhm.
And I believe it's called something they did was tolly oil, like huffing gas or paint. And I
Kind of like
remember
a huffing.
yes. So I remember me and my cousins, we would go and get these bags, like little sandwich baggies. I guess that's what they
Mhm.
use. And
Mhm.
we would go and get these things and we would sniff them and get high. So maybe
Yes.
7 or 8 years old.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's I do. Yeah, I remember in school there were some kids that, I mean, it was whatever they could get at that point, and I saw some of them actually taking little pieces of cloth and whatever what would work. I mean, some of them were taking gasoline. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, and then just taking a big hit, and then the whippets came in with like just when you're at the dentist office, let's say
Oh,
the gas,
nitrous oxide.
nitrous oxide and stuff.
Yeah.
So here you are, 7, 8 years old, and started, introduced to that already. And how does it progress from there? And what does it progress to as far as what you're taking?
Okay. So, well, when we moved down here, my dad he was just tired of that lifestyle. He wanted better for us. He wanted better for his family. So, we moved down here. He got a good job. He got us a good home, got us in school. We started finally going to school. I made friends, and like from 9 to my teenage years, I was just a normal kid. You know what I'm saying? Just a
Mhm.
normal kid. Um, I thought I fell in love when I was 18. I ended up having a kid with this. Had a little boy with this guy that I thought I was in love with, but it didn't work out. Um, but they introduced me to painkillers when I had my first son, and I got addicted to them.
Ah,
So guess I would say painkillers was like my first real addiction.
Okay.
Um, I've got 3 boys. I got 3 kids now, and just each time that I would have my, or anything like there was this doctor. I don't want to say his name, but there was a doctor in Athens. They called him Dr. Feelgood. You can go to him for anything.
ah.
And that, so you know where I'm going with this.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
I started going to him, and like every 2 weeks getting 90 Lortabs, Xanax, Somas, and within 2 weeks they would all be gone.
Whoa.
So that's the opiates and the, what do you call them, benzoid or whatever. That was like
So,
my first real addiction.
see,
Yeah.
Was your
And that
first birth a C-section or a natural birth?
I had all of my natural.
Okay.
Yeah, I had all of my natural.
Okay.
But they always send you home with,
Yeah.
something to deal with a little bit of pain or whatever.
Yeah.
I liked the way it made me feel, and I was like, okay, so searching the streets and going doctor hopping and all the things, and just I think I was addicted to opiates for a little over 10, 15 years.
See, and the thing too is I talk to a lot of people that happens to, and you don't think of it as addiction because you're getting this paper from a doctor.
Doctor,
So it's
yes.
like, well, no, it's all good. I don't have a problem because this is prescribed. So we use that as a crutch to manipulate our own thoughts. And
I got
then,
a bottle.
yeah. So I know a lot of stories that end up with, when that runs out, a lot of times then it goes to the streets, like you said, and then other drugs to take up that's less expensive. Is that kind of what happened to you?
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, I got a question though before you go on with that. Is that doctor still in business?
He passed away, actually. Yeah,
Okay.
he passed away a long time ago.
Okay.
And then, like, when he passed away, that's when I had to start going to the streets to find him. You see what I'm
well, yeah,
saying?
that's
Yep,
where
And
we're
then
at.
yep.
Okay, go ahead with the story. Yep.
that's when it led to I started dabbling in a little bit of cocaine. Went from pain pills to cocaine.
Mhm.
It was probably about 7 years, about 6 or 7 years on that. And then partying a lot, going out to the clubs and the bars. I dabbled in a little bit of crack cocaine for a couple months. But I want to say 2019, because like you said, during this time, I was, I guess you would say, a functional addict.
Mhm.
I tried to, I tried to hide a lot of it. I worked, I had a job and everything. But when 2019 hit, the COVID-19 hit, I got laid off, and I started drawing unemployment, and it was a lot of money. I started hanging with different people, and these people introduced me to meth, and I think that's when my life just spiraled downhill so fast. I mean, like within a blinking of an eye. It was bad. And I always said that I would never become what I grew up watching. You know what I mean? I always said that. And when you wake up one morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and you see what you said you never wanted to be, that's a scary thought. It's a scary sight.
God, it really is. Yeah, and you know how we are, man. We can manipulate any story, and it's never our fault. It's someone else's fault that I'm addicted to whatever it was, and for me, by the grace of God, man, thank God I never touched a needle, but in my mind, I'm not an addict because only addicts use needles. Doing everything else that you just mentioned, that's just partying. That's just recreational. That's and like you said, functional. But so we use our own words to justify what we're doing, man. And I just that story, like you said, from the doctor, then that runs out, then to the streets. That it's cheaper and this other high. So with the meth, you said meth, right?
Yes, sir.
And that usually once you hear that, that's when you hear this spiral. And you said it was fast, huh?
Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna say within 2 months, I was on the streets, homeless, in and out of jail, caught a couple charges. I just completely lost myself. I mean,
In 2 months.
within 2 months.
Wow.
Yes. I was staying at my sister's at the time, and I left one day and never went back. I just was on the streets, just in and out of trap houses, thieving, stealing, robbing. I mean, you name it, I did it.
For as far as you said, caught some charges and all that. What was the first time you got arrested, and what was it for?
It was drug paraphernalia. You know what? I know it was drug paraphernalia. I have a bad memory.
I'm with you.
It was a bunch of drug charges. Every charge I got was related, drug related.
Now, I'm sorry, but I just remember, my dad's still alive.
My dad?
Yeah, your mom and dad.
Yes, my mom and dad they're still here and they're still together.
With all this going on with you, and going through these different stages, and then hitting the meth with the big spiral, going from, like you said, normal kid when you first got down there to all of a sudden all this. Is mom and dad stepping in, pulling you aside, saying, "Hey, listen, are they trying to intervene?"
They did. They would go searching for me. They knew just a couple places where I would be. My mom, she came and checked on me a lot. They would beg me to come home and beg me to go to rehab or get some kind of help. And of course, I'd be like, okay, yeah, just give me a couple hours or give me a day or two. Never happened. Never happened.
Tomorrow.
I would always lie to them or make an excuse why I couldn't, or to give them some hope, I would lie to them. Okay, just give me a day or two and I'll come home. You can take me to rehab. Never happened. I didn't want to. I didn't want to get the help. I didn't want the help. I didn't want it. Like I said, I was in and out of trap houses. in and out of jail. Sorry, I'm shooing my sister out in the room.
That's fine. You're good. You're good.
It was just, and a lot of all the people that I was hanging with, they was just so unsavory. A bunch of characters. I mean, like, it's just something you would see now. Me thinking with a sober mind, looking back at it, it's like something you would literally see out of a movie. I mean, like, it's crazy. It's just so unreal what drugs can really do to somebody. Like I said, I became something that I always said I would never become. I woke up one day, looked in the mirror, I was nothing but a needle junkie.
Wow.
Mm-mm-mm.
And you remember actually, I don't know if you said it, but you remember looking in the mirror that day and like, that's
Yeah,
what was looking back.
when I looked at myself, and sometimes like I still have bad dreams of that particular day.
Really?
I looked in the mirror and my eyes were just solid black. I didn't see no color in my eyes. I was skin and bones, probably 82 pounds, soaking wet. Yeah, it was really bad. And like I said, I tried to hide it from my family when they would come around. I would wear long sleeves so they wouldn't see anything, and just lie to them all the time. And I lost trust with my kids. I abandoned them, and I didn't care. I just didn't care, and I don't now. It hurts my heart to know that I did that. You know what I'm saying? But I know I'm a better person now, so I've learned to forgive myself for all of it. But it's
Good.
it's every day. It's an everyday battle. You still just got to get up and just keep moving and keep fighting.
Who was
But
taking care of your kids?
they was with they was bouncing back between my parents and then their dad's parents.
Okay. Okay.
But I missed out on so much. I missed out on their graduations, which I knew at the time when it was going on, and I promised to be there and never showed up. So I broke that trust. I broke that trust and that bond with my boys. I didn't get to see them graduate. I didn't get to see them turn from a little boy into the grown men that they are now. But we're working on it. It's getting a whole lot better. They're back in my life, and they love their mommy, and they're so proud of me.
And rightfully so, man. I tell you, it's looking at what we do, and I've talked to some people, both obviously people like us who have gone through it, and not only that, but their loved ones who how many times, sure, you probably heard it too, talking to people who don't understand. It's like, why don't you just stop? Or if don't you love me as much as you love drugs, when you're talking like from like spouses, loved ones who are trying to help someone stop using. And I've had people say, well, just stop. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that's all you got to do is just stop. Well, it's not that easy. But what you just said about missing these events, I had a lady one time and she was just like, it's just selfish. And I go, yeah, it is selfish. I go, but just that is how strong addiction is. Because she
Yes.
goes, doesn't my daughter love me? I go, yes. And I go, but that addiction is so evil and so strong that if you put you and your kids, and I was talking with this lady here and saying, listen, there's a party, family party in 1 hour. You need to be there. Okay, I'll be there. And then all of a sudden the phone rings and someone says, listen, I'm on my way and I got meth. I got all this. You down? Yep.
Yep.
There would be no thought. Yep. And she's
Right.
like, well, why don't you just say no? And I'm like, I'm trying to explain to them, unless you feel it, you don't know that feeling. And God knows we don't want anyone to feel it. And that's why it's so important you telling these stories,
Yeah.
that what your kids, like you said, rebuilding and all that. What with you catching these cases and going to jail, what was the longest stint that you had to stay in?
4 months was my longest because I would always bond out or have somebody, come and get me out. Let's see. I did 4 months in Limestone County and almost 1 month in Birmingham. And that was my last bid. That's when I decided and I pleaded with the judge, the day I had court. I don't know if y'all heard of the women's prison called Tutwiler.
Yep.
It's a women's prison in Alabama. They was there to get me that day. They was there to take me away. I was supposed to do 2.5 years in prison. But I knew, because I've been in and out of jail so many times, I knew that if I went to jail or prison, when I got out, I would just go right back to the streets. And I knew this. I had what a spiritual awakening is. Baby, did I have one. When I sat in jail, I had that spiritual awakening. And I pleaded with the judge and told her, if you just let me out and give me this one chance to make it right, I will go to rehab. I will finish the program. I will do whatever I got to do, because, I had time to sober up in jail and really think about, life and everything. And she agreed. I went straight from jail to rehab, and I finished that program with flying colors. I hit the ground running. I just wanted to do everything I can do to get myself back. I wanted to do it then.
And when was that?
I'm sorry.
When was that?
I got arrested. Okay, so I got arrested on June the 24th of 2023. Went to Limestone County. From Limestone County, went to Birmingham. When I got out, I can't remember what day it was. But the day I got out, my parents were there to pick me up, and I went straight from jail to drop me off at the rehab.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what, too? You were in there for 4 months. Well, for 4 months, you're not using. So for 4 months, you were clean. Or were you? Because as we know, you can't get stuff in jail. You can't get stuff. But you were clean for 4 months. And I'm just wondering, that judge who agreed, because you were going. You were literally 2 years you were going. And you said you had that awakening. Well, I'll tell you what, that judge must have too, to all of a sudden have that change of heart.
Well, let me tell you how it worked out. And I've always believed in God. But I didn't really have faith. I didn't know what faith was, until I started reading my Bible and everything. I prayed the whole time I was in there. The day I had court, I didn't have a lawyer. None of that. I'm not even from Birmingham. Caught a charge in Birmingham one day, just out and about with some stranger. We got pulled over, got found drugs in the car, whatever. So we both got arrested. Didn't even know the guy. So when I'm in court that day, and the judge, she's like, "Do you have a lawyer?" I said, "No, ma'am, I don't. I'm not even from here." You know what I'm saying? She stopped what she was doing, took a recess for 15 minutes, went and called a lawyer. The lawyer she called me doesn't even do criminal cases. He does like accidents and stuff. And he came up there and represented me that day. And I'm telling you, it was all God. It was God. It had to have been.
Man.
I still keep in contact with that lawyer, and he told me, I don't even do criminal cases. I don't do none of that. I do accidents and stuff. And I'm like, well, God bless you, because you saved my life. You really don't know that.
Yeah.
Do you have contact with the judge at all? Or have you?
I don't personally write her, but like I had caseworkers through her, like the drug program and the drug court and all that I was going through her. I still write them because they helped me through a lot of stuff, so I do write them like once or twice a month to check in, to let them know that I'm still doing good.
That is awesome, man. And like you said, man, faith and belief. If you can't have one and not the other, because they're the same. If you don't believe, you don't have faith. If you don't have faith, you don't believe, man. But for her, like you said, to all of a sudden make that call to this guy who's probably like, "What? You want me to what?" And then do it.
It's funny because he had already left. Like, he was on his way home. He had to turn around and come back. He could have just been like, "No, I don't want to do that. That's not what I do." He did. He came back. And like I said, I'm still in contact with him, and I update him. But going back to a little bit ago, what we was talking about, how you can get somebody to say, well, like, you don't love me because you're doing drugs. what I learned in recovery was we're powerless over what anybody else does or thinks, and if it's not coming from somebody that has experience with addiction themselves or a loved one, like, they'll never understand. And we can't, there's nothing we can do to make them understand it. I mean, we can talk until we're blue in the face, until they experience it, it's just, they'll never understand it.
You are so right. Just like they will never understand that hellhole of addiction that we feel, they just won't get it, and and just like we could explain till they're blue in the face to try to explain it, just like they can talk to us. You got to quit. You got to tell, like you said, I wasn't ready. Until you can talk all you want, and I've done the same thing, man. Where you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm done with this life, man. I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired. Tomorrow I'm going to do this, and you know what? Tomorrow came, and I was just like, I wouldn't say a word.
Maybe the next
day. One more day. Yeah. You know what? I'm just stuff like that. But so when you hit this recovery program, how, did you know about this, prior to what made this one work?
Well, when I was in jail, I was in jail with this girl, and we would both talk about, when we got out, we was going to go to recovery together. So the next day, this was 2 days before I had court, 2 days, this, some kind of, I don't know what she was, but she brought us girls a bunch of books and stuff. I opened this book, and there was a paper in there with some recovery centers in it. And I was like, okay. So I got on the phone, started calling them, and I called my mom, and I was like, look, Mom, I got this number to a program. They'll take me if I can get the money. I'm going to talk to the judge, see what I can do about it. I'm not sure that I can get out and go, but I want to go to rehab. Like, I want to do this. So it was like everything was just falling into place, with finding that paper in that book of all the recovery centers around that area. So the judge taking recess to call a lawyer up there for me and just agreeing to let me out. It was God. I'm telling you, it was just nothing but God.
I believe that wholeheartedly, man. I mean, before it was like, it's a coincidence. No, it's not.
No.
Not. When you have stuff like that happen to you, and you know what? I don't care. I mean, other people I'll tell my story and stuff, and people interact with their version of my story. And I'm like, but I don't try to change their mind, because I know, just like that happened for a reason, that you went to that court, that judge that day. Everything happened for a reason, man. That's just, when you told your mom, when you made that call and said, I don't know if they're going to do it, but I'm going to try. I'm going to go to rehab. Because as you said that conversation, you've had it before with her.
Yeah.
Did she believe you when you told her? Could
she feel the change in the energy of you?
Could she feel that change in you the way that you did?
Because I've lied to him so many times. She goes, okay, we're going to help you. We're going to get you in this. Don't let us down. I promise I'm not going to let you down. Just, if I'll call you when I get out of my court and let you know what the judge says or whatever. And as soon as I got out, I told Mom, if you can get me in, she's going to let me out. So, that's what she did. I called her back about an hour later. She said, we're on our way to get you. We got your bed paid. So they got my bed paid.
Man,
so what do you consider your sober date?
Okay. So the day I got arrested, I was already 2 days clean. I was already I was already almost done with it. Like, I was just tired of it. I was in and out of abusive relationships. I didn't have anything. I was tired of being hungry, tired of not showering. I think I probably went months without showering. You know what I'm saying? I was just so tired of it. And then just looking at myself in the mirror that morning, I was just like, what am I doing? Like, what is this? So the day I got arrested, June 24th, 23.
That's awesome. That's just incredible, man. And from the recovery, you said it was a 4-month program?
9 months.
9 months to recovery?
Wow.
And you tore it up, huh?
I hit the ground running. I was pliable. Was very attentive, open minded. I wanted to learn everything I could. I went to meetings. I went to church. Um, it's a very that recovery center. It is in Somerville, Alabama. It's called Life Source, and it's very. It saved my life. This is the best thing that ever happened to me was going in there. The women there are so supportive. Like they help you do everything. They help you get back and forth to your job. They help you get your credentials if you don't have them. And now like there's a lot of changes there. They're doing like mother and children. Like they're expanding. So it's just a really good place. And I'm very thankful for them.
Great.
That is awesome. So it was 9 months, and with that, I mean, do you remember, were there certain things, compared to other? Were you in any rehabs before that one that you just ended up leaving or stuff? So that's the
Nope.
first one, huh?
That's the first one.
Wow,
Because like
man.
I said, I was always a good mom. I tried my best. I was a good person. I've always been kind and sweet. And just the addiction just took me down so fast. And then my mind just went blank. I don't know what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's addiction. That's like I keep going back to how you said, before, I was functioning, I was working, I was going,
Yeah.
I was doing all the things you're supposed to do until I wasn't. And that 2 months, it was just like, how can you go from working and seeing your kids doing all this, from that to being homeless? That doesn't happen. That happens to other people. That doesn't happen to Kristie.
Right. I mean, it was just, and then like, my family, they would come looking for me and try to get me to come home. My kids would come looking for me in these trap houses. I mean, my
Yeah.
boys are grown, they're all in their 20s, and I knew they would come. I would be there. I would be hiding. I didn't care. Didn't care.
Okay, so you actually heard them, and you were in the house that they came in, and whoa,
I
that
was,
just shows how evil addiction is, man. That you actually heard their voices, and we're like, you know,
yeah.
that's something. And God bless them, man. I know you said that those fences, you're mending those fences now, and rebuilding those bridges. I mean, that's what we were hearing, and what we always, you hear the evil of addiction, but then screw that, because we got the victory of recovery. And
Yeah.
that's,
And
seeing
that.
Kristie smiling, seeing you and everything you're doing, man. And
Hey, we got a question.
Okay.
One of our family members wants to know, did your kids ever see you high?
They never seen me high.
They never did.
wow.
I refused. I refused. Now, my mom probably has, because she was the only one that would come looking for me, and pull up to check on me.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she knew that I was high, because I mean, there wasn't a day that went by that I wasn't. I mean, it was nonstop. It was every day. It was for 7 years, 6, 7 years straight, every day, nonstop.
And plus, like you said, my and dad were addicts, so you can't lie to an addict.
Yeah.
I remember when having some people talking to me, and they're bullshitting their families and all that. And I'm sitting there, and I finally just said, I go, just stop. I go, you're so full of shit. And they're like, the family was like, what are you? I go, they're lying. And all of a sudden, this guy looked at me, and I go, dude, I told that same story years ago. The exact same story.
Can't tell me nothing that I don't know.
Yeah. I said, between my time, with the police department, riding with the highwaymen, doing the shit I did, you can't lie to me. And then I had a buddy, who's an addict, and he's like, well, man, you heard that, you can't lie to an addict. It's just like,
Nope. Yeah.
we've been there, done that.
You probably made that story, like you said. You told that story. That's my story.
That's mine.
That's my story. I said the same thing 3 years ago. What you talking about?
Now, did any, I know, like you said, with what? You froze. What was that?
Saying like I invented that lie. You can't lie.
No, no,
yeah.
mine sounded better.
Yeah.
Now, did any of your brothers and sisters have any issues with drugs, alcohol addiction at all?
Yeah. Not so much. I would just say me and my oldest sister.
Okay, yeah, that's because I mean it's just when sometimes in families it's just insane. You think about it, it's like, well, how can just one person? And again, it's addiction. It doesn't care. It'll take you all if it can, but
Yeah.
it'll just pick and choose, man. At the right time, when we're at our weakest is when it's at its strongest, and that's just something that but it's just amazing how that day changed your life when you looked in the mirror.
Mhm.
And then the second time is when you went to court. It was
Yeah.
just like,
It
you
got
knew.
so bad. It got so bad for me where I was staying. I'm not proud of anything that I'd done when I was in addiction. But where I was staying, the neighbors had moved out and they had left a huge like privacy fence, the big wooden privacy fence, whatever.
Mhm.
I took some of that wood and built my own little shack, okay? I alienated myself from everybody. I didn't want to be around nobody, not even the people I was using with or running with. For like 3 months, I just stayed by myself. Like I was so ashamed of anybody to see me because I got that bad and I just looked so bad. But
Wow.
I didn't care. I still got up every day and I still got high. I didn't care, until I was coming down off the high and didn't have anything for a couple hours. That's when you start feeling things. So I don't know. It just got to where I alienated myself from everybody. I didn't want to be around anybody until that morning I got arrested. I was like, I'm done. I actually heard the police coming. They raided the trap house I was in. I heard them coming. I told everybody to run. Police are coming, run. I sat there.
Wow.
I sat there. I could have ran. I could have ran like I always did. But
It
I
was
just,
time to stop running.
yeah. I was
Man,
just like,
how did you get involved with everyone at the rally in Athens, Alabama that we were at? How did because there's so many amazing people we met with Jeanette and B and everyone else there, of course Lori and everyone and so many others. How did you guys all get together?
so my nephew was, he goes to Lori's church and
Okay.
we're friends on Facebook, me and Lori, and she just said, "Hey, we got this rally coming up." I'm like, "I'm coming." Because, I went to a bunch of them when I was in recovery. We did all that stuff. We did like the end of addiction walk in Huntsville. We did rallies. We did all kind of things. So I'm like, I like to do stuff like that because I like to listen to other people's stories because it's inspiring to me. Every story's different. And if you can be there to tell that story, that means you overcame something that was meant to kill you. And
Yep.
it's just very inspirational. So I love it. It fills me with joy.
See, and that's why you're here. That's why you're here with us, and that's why today was that day, because you've been here, you've been commenting, you've been part of this family since, you became part of this family. And I know where there was a few times chatting, it was like, well, I'm not ready, not ready. Well, you're ready when you're ready. And man, just hearing what you've
Been
gone
through. Yeah.
through and where you're at right now and just your attitude, man, you got this kind of
Mm.
aura. I mean, this
Mhm.
this glow about you. I mean, when you talk about recovery, when you talk about your kids and some of these things, as a family now, I mean, are you guys able to enjoy some things and do you
Oh
talk
yeah.
about it or do you just like move on? Because sometimes I know like with certain people, it's just like they don't want to talk about it. It's done, it's over, that's the past. But then others want to, whatever works for them.
Yeah.
What works for you and
Um,
your family?
we'll sit around, like if we're eating sometimes or something, I'll tell some stories or whatever. And now like I can joke about it and laugh and be like, "Oh my God, your mama did this." And, I would tell them a little story about what I would do, and just all the things that I've did and been through and seen and heard. And, they're just like, wow, but they're proud of me. So
How old are your boys?
I have a 21-year-old, a 23-year-old, and a 24-year-old.
Okay.
And the thing is, you just said something reminds me of what you're able to laugh. And
Yeah.
I have people sometimes criticize me saying, I don't take shit seriously and all that. Screw you, man. I got shot, stabbed, organ failure. I should have been dead 6 times. So I take
Yeah.
this seriously. But
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what? I did some funny shit when I was hammered and loaded. I did some funny stuff. And a friend of mine sent me a meme. In fact, her name's Kristie. Sent me a meme. I swear to God, that I used to work with her, man. Kristie sent me this thing, and it said, in alcohol's defense, I've done some pretty screwed up shit, perfectly sober. And I was like, yeah. But I mean, telling stories about that and being able to laugh about it, for me, it's kind of like therapy. It's just like you did
Therapy.
that.
It is. It is. It's therapy. It sure is.
And for your kids to hear that, yeah, it is kind of funny and stuff. But when they hear, some of the stories, I think, I don't know your kids or, you like that, but I bet you they're damn proud because of hearing
That you made it through.
the terror that,
Mhm.
that you were going through. And here you are being able to laugh at it because now
Yeah.
you own it. And I always tell people, man, until you own it, it owns you. Whatever it is, drugs, alcohol, eating disorder, addiction, whatever it is. And man, I tell you, Kristie, you own it. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
To me, I think they're more overprotected of me now.
Oh,
Like, I can't have a boyfriend. No, Mama, he ain't good. He's not good for you. What? Nope. I think they're overly protected of me now because I'm back and they have Mom back. So it's like anything that they think could hurt me or make me fall back down, they're just like, nope, Mom, nope. So I got to run it through my kids before I do anything. And that's okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with it.
That's great,
That's
actually.
because that's Mama Bear.
That's right.
And now
'cause
you
they
got,
love you.
and that's Mama Bear's cubs. And
Uh-huh.
but I tell you, with the holidays and all that coming up, I always think about that too. I mean, with Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, man, these are all things. Yeah, you weren't there in the past, man, but Kristie, you're there now, and all these things you get to enjoy.
Every second counts. Every moment counts. Every memory is going to be there.
Man, that's awesome.
So are you with your sister now? You living there or what?
No, when I graduated the rehab I was in, I ended up getting an apartment out in Somerville because I didn't feel safe enough to come back to Athens at that time. So I stayed out there for a couple months, and I really missed my family, and I thought that I'm strong enough now. I can move back to Athens and be okay because I know what I can do and what I don't need. What I need to do, what I don't need to do, where I can go, where I don't need to go. So I ended up coming back, and I'm staying with my parents.
That's great.
Good.
And I've talked to
That's
some
nice.
people with that too. Is they're like, because some people, they can't be around certain people. They can't go certain places. They can't be around, like go to the bars or go to the casinos or even go to like sporting events because it brings back memories. Like for me, there wasn't anywhere where I didn't drink. I mean, but now, I mean, by the grace of God, man, I go to the bar. I go to the casino. I have been truly blessed. And I've had people say that, well, maybe I should try just to see. I'm like, listen, don't test yourself. I mean, why put yourself in a maybe position?
Exactly, because you will relapse in your mind before you physically relapse. You relapse up here, so you have to know up here your boundaries, and just don't cross them.
Man, that is extremely well put. I have not heard that before.
Yep.
I have not. That is
Well said.
very, very well said and very true. I mean, thinking about it. Man, as far as everything that you do now, are there, as far as programs or stuff that you're involved in helping others?
Um, well, like I
Or,
said, work has me pretty much consumed. I
oh,
work
that's
a lot,
right.
but
Okay.
how I stay connected is
Mhm.
the rehab that I was in. We had like our own little personal church that we would go to, and they would do our service last. So our service started like at 11 o'clock. Well, they go live for the meetings, or well, not every meeting. You can't, some meetings are personal, so they don't go live every meeting. But we have a Sunday night meeting and then church, and they go live. So I never miss it. Just because
Yeah.
if I'm not physically there doesn't mean I still can't be connected.
Correct.
So I watch it. I listen to what they say. I apply it. So I'm not physically there in a meeting, but I am watching.
Yes.
You're
Excellent.
you're there
Excellent.
spiritually, you're there
Mentally.
emotionally. I
Hmm.
mean, and again, it's just, I love watching our guests, because like I said, as far as my time with being in police and even with the highwaymen, because I have to be very observant, because if not, I mean, I had to be in my career and the thing, my lifestyle. If I wasn't careful looking over my shoulder or observing people, but like with you, like I said, certain are keywords: family, church, recovery. You just glow,
Yeah.
you just,
Thank
especially
you.
kids. And that was funny, man. I got to run it by them. Hey, kids, I'm going out tonight. What do you mean you're going out
Well,
tonight?
who, where, and
Yeah,
when you're going to be
who?
back?
Yeah. What do you mean you're going out? Who is he?
And we're going with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
But
awesome. What?
I'm okay. I'm okay with it because I know what I put them through. You know what I'm saying? And I know
Sure.
that they're only doing this out of love for me. That's they're not doing
Right.
it to be mean or nothing. They're protecting their mama. So
That's right.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
okay with it. I'm
Now that
totally
they
fine.
have her, they don't want to lose you.
Well, I tell
Uh,
you, it was so awesome meeting you in Alabama. I know, I think I was able to say hi bye and a couple little chit chats along the way. It was so hectic that day,
yeah,
but
it was.
it
It
was
was.
a nice chat. And I see
So,
your posts all the time, and just your positivity, your attitude, and just like with the rest of the family in Alabama, I just love it, man. And it just keeps coming to mind, the Southern hospitality. And really looking forward to this coming June
Mm-hmm.
when we do it again.
June
bring
1st.
your
And
phone. I want to go for a ride.
Oh, gee.
oh, I tell you, man, I did a little live before getting ready, telling people about you today when I got off the Harley, and I was in the garage doing a little garage talk. And I had my baby there, but
Yeah,
oh, that's also therapy.
it is. I, I've
Uh,
I've been on a couple bikes, and I love it. I just love it. I just feel so free and I like it. But I don't
oh, it
trust
was.
anybody. I can't just get on just anybody. Very
Oh
cautious with
man.
it. The ones that I do ride with, they're very cautious with me, but I
Well,
love it.
yeah. If
So
not, they got to deal with your sons.
yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I can just see right now all these guys want to take you for a ride. They're like, hey, you want? No.
Yeah.
No, no, her kid said no.
Hmm.
But that's, what, it's just so great talking to you and hearing from, you know I mean, from the get-go, man. I mean, just what you saw, and God bless mom and dad for,
Yes.
dad
Oh,
just saying, you
I'm
know what, enough, and then just up and moving and staying sober all this time. I mean, what great role models,
yeah.
to so,
Very,
but
very, very thankful. I'm very thankful and grateful for my parents. They never gave up on me. I've met a lot of people where their family gave up on them, and that's when they just
oh,
when you don't have when you're in addiction, I think the more love you have is better. Like, because I've seen people in addiction that don't have anybody that you know what I'm saying, and it's sad. We just want love. We want somebody to just we just want that love. So I'm very
I
thankful and grateful for my family. They've been there since day one. They've supported me and stood behind me the whole way.
see it
So I'm
again, well said about the love, because we want that love and support. But the
Yeah.
thing is, the support they're given, but we're spitting on it and abusing that trust and that support. But that love, and it reminds me of something. My big brother, man. Well, he is like my brother, but his son Kevin, who would be like my little brother, lost his battle and passed away from addiction. And I had Rick on and Nancy on my show, which was a very hard interview to do because, like I said, they're just like my family. They are my brother. And so here I'm talking to Rick, and he goes, "Man, I didn't understand the strength of addiction because they did the same thing. We will take you, we'll pay for everything. This rehab, we're going to keep doing whatever it takes."
Yeah.
And he said, "I still didn't realize how evil and how strong addiction was until one night they were sitting at home and Kevin was in the living room with his dad, just going through some serious withdrawal, just sick as can be, and actually started begging his dad to drive him down to get some shit." And Rick was just like, "What?" He goes, "Are you nuts?" He goes, "After all we're doing to try to get you clean and sober." And all of a sudden he said, Kevin started crying, just bawling, saying, "Dad, I don't want to be like this. I hate this. I hate me. I hate what I become." And just started crying. He goes, but all of a sudden, Rick, he goes, "Here's my son asking me to give him this evil drugs." And then he goes, "I got it." And he goes, "Manny, the only thing I can tell people is don't ever give up on someone. As hard as
Right.
it may be, and it's easy to say. And like you just said, Kristie, a lot of people give up and, you know, but you just can't, you can't. But, for you, I'm so happy for you and your kids and your family in a whole. But in closing here, Kristie, is there anything, for that person who thinks they got everything under control and we're good, and then all of a sudden they're into that spiral, looking in that mirror right now, thinking that they don't have a way out, man? You got anything or advice or word of wisdom for somebody?
Um, so just I guess like me, it's a person has to want the help. You know what I mean? You gotta have that want to begin with. Because like me, I didn't want to at first, but then when I got it in my head that I wanted to change, and it is very possible. Like there's so many recovery stories worldwide. Recovery is possible. Just don't give up. Fight the fight. You have family and loved ones that they want you forever. They want you to keep you here as long as they can. So just don't give up.
Yeah,
There's recovery centers everywhere. There's people out there that will help. I'm one of them. I can point you in the right direction.
there you go. And just like you said, man, there's so many people that love you. I mean, just like you said, I'll take my kids giving me the second degree any day because they love you, and and now they're proud of you, just like we are. And I'm so happy that you're with us and part of this family. And like I always tell people too, man, this isn't a one and done when we do a show. I'll have some people do a show and they're like, "Yeah, I did this show one time," and they can't remember what show they did. And it was like, "Well, are you still part of that platform?" "Well, kind of." Man, we're family here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
as you see, we have people that come on multiple times. So if you have something going on in your life that, maybe one day you're like, "Man, this was great. Something happened." Hit me up. You got my number. You got OG. Hit me up. Let me know. And if I'm available to, we'll go live that night and share it. It just to people hearing you and seeing your enthusiasm, I'll be all in. Let's do it.
Yeah. I have a lot of people that, so I don't talk to everybody, but I do still talk to some of the people that, I used to run with because I pray for them. I check on them every once in a while. So they're watching this. Y'all seen me at my worst. And you see me now. And if you're still struggling, don't give up. You can do it. If I can, you can.
And you know what? Those
And
aren't
I love
just
you
words.
guys.
That is so true, man. If Kristie can do it, if I can do it, if everyone here are amazing people that are the comments,
Yes.
Kristie, when we're done it and wrap this up, man, make sure you go through because there's so many people that commented for you and about you and all that. So you got a lot of people that
Sending
are
you love.
throwing you love.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know. So again,
Okay.
man, thank you so much. And from your group to my group, you know
My
what?
group.
Oh, I love it.
And we will be seeing you in June, if not sooner.
Yes.
But like I said, Kristie, if you got something going on, man, just hit me up and we'll make it happen.
All right. Thank you. Love y'all.
I love
Love
you. Have
you
a great
too.
day. Man, we'll see you.
Bye-bye now.
Man,
Nice, good story. Wow.
I tell you,
Wow.
what a great story.
Yeah.
Just seeing all these different stories
It
and
started out rough. Started out
well,
rough.
it was crazy too because when we first started talking, I was just giving a little what people usually start with, and all of a sudden, bam, she starts with just
That's
the
right.
same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you guys so much, man, for sharing tonight and being part of this family. And thank you so much for your comments of support and love and motivation for not only Kristie, but all of us here at My Fighter War.
Mhm.
And you guys are incredible. We're going to be popping on again throughout the week. We are tentatively looking at
Next Monday,
the
Dave Stevens.
Monday, November the 3rd at 6:30 with 7-time Emmy Award producer from ESPN, Dave Stevens. We'll be coming out with more information about that. But again, until then, man, just thank you guys so much. And addiction's only a word. It's not a death sentence. And keep fighting the good fight. Love you guys.